I am bored. My search has turned up nothing today. Nothing but Bleach reruns. It's like there's nothing on this planet to find. Which means I'm gonna go have to look on another planet. Quick! To the Space Explorer! Engine primed. Thrusters to maximum. Route guidance system online. I'm blasting off of this rock. Clear the way! The infinite possibilities of space are spread out before us. There's no telling what we may find. Hey, what's that? I think we may have found something already. Outlaw Star, a typical sci-fi western with a few unique quirks of its own. Gene Starwind is a brash, arrogant, gun-toting, womanizing scoundrel living on the frontier planet of Sentinel-3. He runs a small business with his junior partner, 11-year-old whiz kid Jim Hawking, where their business statement is,
"Hello, you've reached Hawking from Starwind and Hawking Repairs. We fix everything from tractors to relationships, so how can we help you today?"
Okay. A little vague, but I'll take it. One day they take on a client named Rachel, who says she needs some parts as well as a bodyguard for a few days. Seems a simple enough job, until the K-Pirates show up looking for her. Looks like Miss Rachel hasn't been completely honest with them. Turns out her real name is Hilda. She's an outlaw, and the pirates have a serious bone to pick with her. Okay, time out. Maybe I should give a little context here. Okay, so there's apparently 3 big powers that exist in space here. There's the Space Forces, the big organized military that governs and polices much of colonized space, but we don't really see much of them here. There's the pirates, the cunning and malicious plunderers wielding wicked arcane powers. And then there's the outlaws, the ones with no specific allegiance who just travel space to do what they want. They're the Han Solos and the Malcolm Reynolds of the galaxy. So anyway, Hilda pissed these pirates off by stealing some kind of treasure from them. What is this treasure? Why, it's a naked girl in a box! I always wanted a naked girl in a box! Anyone know where I can get one? So this girl's name is Melfina. She's a bioandroid, origin unknown. But she's only part of the prize. Hilda needs to go into space, and now that Gene and Jim have gotten involved, they end up coming along for the ride. A bit of a problem, given that Gene has a phobia of space, stemming from a childhood memory of how he lost his father. Well, a stop at a spaceport, a couple nasty encounters, and a few space jumps later, they come to the real treasure. A ship. The XGP-15A2, a secret project developed from a combination of pirate brains and Space Forces technology. Who actually built it is a bit of a mystery, which we're gonna have to wait about 20 episodes or so to get some answers to. The ship has a pretty unique operating system. The internal systems are operated with the aid of the ship's sentient computer named Gilliam-2. The navigation, meanwhile, is Melfina's job. That's what she's here for. She's designed specifically to operate with this ship. She gets into this tank where she interfaces directly with the ship's systems.
Connection established. I'll activate the engines.
Oh, and I almost forgot this little detail. It's a grappler ship. Yeah, a spaceship with arms. This is where Outlaw Star really stands apart from the crowd. Where else do you see spaceships with grappler arms fighting each other hand to hand? Hey, how come my ship doesn't have any arms? There's something wrong with this picture. Hey, there's a spaceport over there. Maybe they can help me. Hi-ho there, Homo sapien. What can I do for you? Yeah, I want to get some arms installed on my ship.
Arms? What in turbulent tarnation you need arms for?
Oh, well, I want to punch other ships in the face.
Got a nickel for every time I heard that. Alright, I'll see what I can finagle for you, but it might take a while, so you might want to go find something to do.
Okay.
Humans.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. Anyway, where was I?
So, next thing you know, Hilda's gone and gotten herself blown up, leaving Jean, Jim, and Melfina with the ship, which Jean has chosen to name the Outlaw Star. From there, they travel about from one planet to another, fighting off pirates, looking for whatever jobs they can find, and fighting off more pirates, all seeking to reclaim the XGP. Why are these pirate guys so hard up to retake the ship in Melfina? Well, supposedly, they're supposed to be the keys to finding and accessing the galactic ley line. Yeah, our merry bunch of good guys don't know what that is either. That's the big mystery that you have to keep watching to the end to find out. So, since I'm not going to go into that any further, let's talk about the characters.
Alright then, what are we waiting for?
As heroes go, Jean is a nicely flawed character. He's cocky and a bit full of himself. He tends not to think ahead too much, and with the way he'll charge into a situation without thinking twice, this gets him into trouble a lot of the time. On the occasion that he does earn some money by catching a bounty head or doing some job, he'll usually promptly blow it hitting the clubs and the bars.
Yeah. Oh, and one more thing. I'm gonna go out and party! Haha, a couple of drinks will help me unwind.
I'm not kidding, Jean. I'm really worried about you.
Come on, lighten up, partner. I need to have a little fun.
Since Jean is so reckless, that leaves Jim to be the responsible one. He's the one who thinks things through, which helps in a lot of situations where Jean would otherwise run off half-cocked. Jim is the brains of the crew. He's the one who monitors their expenses, the needs of their equipment, and he's often the one coming up with their battle strategies. Whenever Jean has to fight some killer cyborg or something, Jim is backing him up with his computer, running scans of the enemy's tech and giving Jean strategy tips.
Jean, he's a Type C! Go for the bias line on the side!
Melfina is the heart, not only of the ship, but also their crew. She's sweet, demure, and naive, and she never takes any part in battle apart from her regular job of interfacing with the Outlaw Star. She likes to cook, and she keeps the crew's morale up. There's also a small spark of romance between her and Jean that slowly builds throughout the series. A big part of the plot revolves around the mystery of who created her and why. It's her big goal in the series, to find out where she came from and what her purpose is.
Why was I made? Who made me? And what did they make me for?
In other words, she is your typical adolescent. Oh, come on, you knew I was gonna say that.
Now, if you're thinking that it doesn't seem like much of a crew with just the three of them, you'd be right. That's why they get a couple of part-time additions to the crew along the way. Enter Suzuka, a deadly assassin with a fetish about killing her targets at sunset. When we first meet this woman, she's under contract to kill Jean's friend and supply broker, Fred Lowe. After Jean beats her in fair combat, she agrees to set aside her contract and soon after decides to join up with the crew. She wields a wooden bokuto. Yes, you heard me. It's made of wood. And she's able to do stuff like this with it. Yeah, Suzuka kicks ass. And when she's not fighting, she drinks tea. And she drinks tea. And then she might gamble a little or relax on a beach, and then drink some more tea.
I know what I'm drinking. And it ain't no tea.
Yeah, enough of that. Let's see her kick some more ass.
Let's do it! Hagenbergo! do you call that?
Standard Heian, number 1.
I see.
Aisha Clan is a Katarl, which is an alien race of, well, tiger people, basically. She makes her debut early on, while Hilda is still with them. She's in command of an Imperial battleship, until she ends up making a big mistake. Which, in all fairness, wasn't really her fault, but her government decides to give her the boot. She'll only be allowed back home once she gets sufficient information on the galactic ley line, and since Gene and his crew apparently have the key to it, she jumps on board with them.
Tell me the coordinates!
Okay, the coordinates are... Now listen carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what the hell I'd like to know!
Aisha is both the muscle and the comic relief on the crew. Being a Katarl gives her intense strength, and her skin can stop a knife, which makes her pretty damn useful in a scrape. And on some occasions, she can even transform into a huge, vicious beast. But what's even bigger than her muscles is her mouth.
Will you quit your whining?
She's loud and in your face and regularly annoys the rest of the crew with her antics. She's quick to anger, which is usually when she's at her goofiest. Oh yeah, and let's not forget Gilliam.
Boy, did we inherit a major pain in the ass or what?
I beg your pardon, I am not a major pain in the ass. I am Gilliam too.
People tend to overlook him as a character because he's just a computer. But for a computer, he's got a pretty fair amount of personality.
My crew is a bunch of lunatics.
On the bridge, he's represented by this circular display with a red gauge that moves when he talks. Everywhere else, he's represented by these little blue can things that move around on rails. At one point, Jim decides to designate one of Gilliam's little drone bodies as the main one by painting it pink.
I knew it. I knew that you would laugh when you saw me.
Gilliam is like the eloquent, soft-spoken wise man. He also seems to register things like pain and surprise, and even he admits to thinking of Gene as an impulsive moron sometimes.
Gene, did you think of a good job? What was that for?
Yeah, that's right. I promised you I would, didn't I? So listen, I was wondering if we could go out for dinner or something.
And to think I call that man Captain.
I'll be right over.
Hey, didn't I mention Fred Lowe a minute ago? Yeah, let's talk about him. Fred is the rich young heir to an equipment trading business, and is Gene's main source of supplies for the ship, and occasionally a job or two. His favors and equipment don't come free, and since Gene and his crew are always short on funds, that makes things difficult for him. They usually manage to come to some kind of agreement, which generally involves Gene using his favorite bargaining line.
How about I pay you when I make it big?
Even though Fred tends to be pretty business-minded, he's usually willing to offer Gene some kind of help, even if it's not necessarily the kind Gene is looking for. Let's just say there's more than one reason Gene tends to be a little uncomfortable coming to Fred for favors.
So, what's this business you've mentioned, huh?
It's my spaceship. I'm gonna need a...
Ah! It was just a joke. A joke!
Hey, you. Do you know why we don't turn you away and lock you out even though you're rude to the young master?
'Cause you'll get yourself hurt if you take me on?
No, because the young master happens to love you.
Hey, now don't be so formal. We're closer friends than that. Have I ever turned you down for any kind of a favor?
Then you will?
Of course I will. But only under one condition.
I'm not gonna sleep with you.
Anyway, let's move on to some of the bad guys. Most of the pirates they end up fighting aren't given any names, and only last a couple of episodes at most before being killed off. But we do get some major recurring villains. The McDougal brothers are an infamous pair among the criminal underworld. They identify as outlaws, but they'll take jobs from anyone and do anything for money. Everyone in the underworld has heard their names, but no one knows much about them, mostly because they kill anyone who does. Ron McDougal is the older brother. He's the cool one. He's sly and calculating and badass. Not to mention, dig that scar.
What's the matter? You can't run off. I'm not finished playing with you yet.
Hey, you think I'd look better with a scar? One way to find out. Stand back. This could get messy.
Ouch. The younger one, Harry, is the pretty boy. He's a lot less calm than his brother. He tends to get pretty excited and kill crazy, and kinda screechy to boot.
Die, 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 die! You die!
Harry goes from being fully flesh to having a cybernetic arm to a full cybernetic body, and he also occasionally dives into the digital world that Melfina inhabits when she interfaces with the ship. In fact, that ends up being one of the major aspects of Harry's character. He's got a pretty serious thing for Melfina, which borders pretty severely on creepy. Gwen Khan. No, he's not exactly a villain, but he's mysterious as hell and seems to be pulling a lot of strings. He likely has the answers to a lot of the mysteries, like the origins of Melfina and the XGP, and the secrets of the galactic leyline. Not to mention, he's pretty freaking weird.
Come now. Do tell. How did you come by that ship? I must know. That is the mystery. Yes, that is the mystery. That is the mystery.
Point them crazy eyes the other way.
If this series does have a main villain, it'd be this guy, named Hazanko. There's not a lot to say about him. He's just the bad guy. He's the leader of a pirate guild called the 108 Stars, and he commands an elite group of assassins called the Anten 7. There's Shimi, the duelist, Iraga, the werewolf, Hanmio, a little girl who uses a pair of super smart cats as part of her ship's grappler combat system. Whatever the writers were smoking when they came up with that, I want some. Hitoriga, the martial artist, Hamushi, the hot one, Jukai, the weird old withered guy in the straitjacket, whatever they were smoking when they came up with him, I'll pass, and Tobigiro.
Hey you, come over here. I got me a bone to pick with you.
Excuse me a minute. Seems I've got a caller.
I hear you're some kind of big shot anime explorer.
That's what they say.
I'm the best anime reviewer in the galaxy. I reckon there ain't room in these cosmos for the both of us.
You want to go around, Pilgrim?
Let's do it, mister. Draw!
Like my piece? It's my caster gun.
Yeah, just like Jeans. His best weapon is the caster, which he whips out when things get really hairy. It's basically a gun that shoots magic spells. He uses it sparingly, since the ammo for it is hard to come by, so it ends up being his last-ditch trump card. There's 20 different kinds of shells that can be loaded into it, each identified by a number, and each producing a different effect.
Jim, give me a number 3!
We've only got one of those bullets left!
Just give it to me! Eat this! Bastard!
Yeah, even though this is technically a sci-fi series, it incorporates some fantasy elements like magic into it. The caster isn't the only example. The pirates use what they call Tau magic, which, regardless of what kind of spell they're casting, seems to always be invoked by chanting this one same word repeatedly.
Well, damn, they make it look so easy. I was supposed to conjure my naked girl in a box. Well, it's probably time to check on my ship now. Time for an Outlaw Star style scene change.
Come on, stupid. Give me one of them fancy Wayland Utani models.
Try channel 6.
Oh, there we are. Thank you. Oh, hey, perfect timing, Homo sapien. She's all set up and ready to punch.
Go for cats. Gotta go now.
No. Hold your space horses there, bud. There's still the matter of the bill.
I'll pay when I make it big.
One of those.
This series has a pretty rich and well-realized mythology. Each episode opens with a short narrated prologue. Some of them give a little bit of background to the series and its universe, explaining a little bit about something in the episode.
Grappler arms were originally manipulators that were attached to EVA craft. At first, it was the Chinese pirates that put the arms' abilities to new and devious uses.
Other times it gives a profile on a specific character.
This young girl grew up in the sun, with joy, laughter, and friendships. She felt nothing but the pleasure of being in her place in the sun.
And other times it does nothing more than get philosophical.
A boy has the right to dream. There are endless possibilities stretched out before him. Countless difficulties lie in wait. Moments of despair. The lure of the razor's edge.
Despite it being a self-professed sci-fi western, its Eastern influences are pretty obvious. There's a lot of Asian customs that are openly practiced, like the way people eat, for example, and city signs in Asian languages are all over the place. It's a wonderful fusion of East and West. It's like in Firefly, where everyone speaks English and Chinese.
Zoe,
I'm sorry, what was that? You were already thinking of Firefly, you say? Why, what could possibly have brought that to mind? The wandering space outlaw? The ragtag crew? The cozy but advanced ship?
This?
Joss Whedon, look me in the eye and tell me you're not a fan.
Let's do it!
But ultimately, the action scenes are where it's really at with this show. The space combat sequences are epic. Just check this action out. Oh yeah. And there's another thing in particular that this series is infamous for.
Ooh, what have we here? Such an adorable little fella. He's just my type. What do you say we have some fun with him, huh?
Oh. Thanks, I needed that.
Gene and his crew stop by on a hot spring resort planet in search of some super rare castor shells. That leaves the crew to do little more than relax in the springs, while Gene gets into all the cartoonish hijinks you can think of. This is the episode that was banned when the show aired on Toonami. Why is that?
It's Gene! What's the meaning of this? You're in the woman's bath.
I'm not here for the view!
Get out of here, you fool!
I see. You came all the way here just to sneak a peek at Aisha in her birthday suit, huh?
No, you're wrong. I didn't come here for the... Ah! Ow, 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 ow!
Can't talk right now, busy.
While it may not be the equal of stuff like Cowboy Bebop or Trigun, Outlaw Star is a series easily worth watching any day of the week. It has a style and a look all its own, and a lot of passion clearly went into it. It's fun, exciting, fun, action-packed, funny, entertaining as all hell, and did I mention fun? Definitely check this one out.
Uh-oh, I got company.
Explore! Stop your engines!
Your anime collection is ours!
You want a piece of me? Come and get it. Going to grappler combat mode. Well, you get what you pay for, I guess. Explorer.